Hey guys, it's me Pokemon here bringing you a brand new video about Marvel Strike Force. Two things to be very excited about today: Masteries, of course, from the thumbnail that you've seen that I'm talking about, and two, noise suppression. I had the excellent idea in that last video I did about how to work with my audio. You should use an audio suppression kind of thing, and I realized OBS has that in it, and I've never really used it before because I would be like, you know, I don't really need that, and I think I do need the noise suppression. So we're actually going to have that in this video today, so my audio should be very good today, very good. I can talk, you know, sort of not monotone, and my voice won't clip out. So that's just super fun. But let's get into the red star orb. So right here, I clipped sort of what's been data mined. So I copied this straight out of the MSF community, little heart emoji. That's what I think. That's what their title is. I copied that out of the data mining channel in their Discord server. Very nice place to follow because, of course, you can always get the data mining news there. Lots of news. It's sort of a smaller scale than Marvel Strike Force Discord server. Not to say there's anything wrong with the MSF Discord server, but sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a smaller group of people so we can have a little bit of a, you know, a little more. You stand out a bit more and you can actually get to know individual people a little better. But both are great servers. It's just this is where I found the data mining information on. So anyways, we have the red star orb. Get red star promotions to boost your character stats. An elite red star orb, or earn elite red star orb fragments by earning duplicate red star. Sorry, I have a little bit of trouble with my R, so this is a lot of orbs. It's whew, it's rough to say that again and again. And then we have this, which seems to repeat mostly the same thing: red star orb fragments, and then you collect the red star orb fragments to earn a red star orb, and then elite red star orb fragments, which is the same idea. So essentially, these bottom two things are going to apply to the top two things. So you can get, these are the fragments down here, so you can get these orbs. So today I want to talk a little bit about these red star orbs, how I think masteries are going to work, and I want to talk about Marvel Future Fight and how they do masteries to hopefully give you guys a good idea of what it's likely going to sort of turn out to be. I did look through Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I could not find a similar system within that game, but I think I heard somebody mention something like it exists in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. But again, I'm not an expert in that game, but if somebody does know about that, feel free to comment down below. I'd love to know how it works in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, because if there's any game it's likely going to be based off of, it's probably going to be based off of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, based on, it's just pretty much the same game, just with a Marvel sort of skin on it. So however they do it in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is probably going to be how they're going to do it in this game. But what I do know really well is Marvel Future Fight, so we're going to talk about that. But first off, let's talk about this name, Red Star. Like, I don't know why you call it the Red Star, or why not just call it a Master Orb? I mean, listen, I'm just saying, Red Star is commonly associated with communist ideology. I just think it's kind of weird to call it a Red Star orb. Sort of seems like, you know, a Winter Soldier sort of orb or something like that, because he has the red star in his metal arm. It just doesn't feel like a Mastery orb to me. Why not just call it Mastery orb, or whatever it is going to be, you know, just, maybe this is a placeholder name. I just think it's a stupid name. Don't call it Red Star orb. That's a little nitpick right there. But Marvel Future Fight. So of course, there's this nice little clean website they have that shows off all their characters. A lot of characters in this game. But let's talk a little bit about somebody in specific. We're going to talk about Gorgon. So in Marvel Future Fight, they have a similar system, hopefully, to how this is going to turn out in Marvel Strike Force with mastery levels. You can turn every star into a red star, and then that costs Norn stones, which are a different material you can farm. And there's 4 different types of Norn stones in the game, 4 big types at least. It gets kind of complicated with a lot of the other characters, but there are 4 main classes of characters in Marvel Future Fight. You have Universal, Speed, Combat, and Blast, and there's a Norn stone colored for each class. And then so you collect 30 Blast Norn stones, then you can get one of your Blast characters to Mastery level 1. Then it costs 60 Norn stones to get their Mastery level 2, 90 Blast stones to get them to Mastery level 3, and then etc, etc. And then Blast stones only work on Blast characters, and Combat stones will only work on Combat characters, and that's sort of how you master up characters in Marvel Future Fight. And then in Marvel Future Fight, what it does for your characters is, by mastering your characters, they'll get a little bit of a stat, well, a pretty big stat boost actually, and then they'll get a leadership ranked up. So for example, Gorgon has one of, at least what used to be one of the best leaderships in the game, probably still one of the better leaderships, but at 1 star he'll get all team members physical attack plus 7.5% if he's the leader of the team. If you get him up to max star rank, that can get up to like 60% bonus physical attack. I forget the exact number, but Gorgon, essentially, the more you rank up somebody's mastery, the stronger their leadership becomes. Now, in terms of Marvel Strike Force, I don't envision them doing something like this with a leadership, because a lot of characters sort of have a leadership sort of worked into their passive. Like right here, Daredevil gives self and defender allies 10% speed. That's sort of like a leadership in Marvel Future Fight, so it'd be kind of weird to get another, you know, passive boost on top of passives, which usually cover everything, and I wouldn't want them to split up passives into leaderships, because that could hurt a lot of teams. You know, for example, you know, what if with the defenders, now you can only pick one of those characters to be giving their team that passive effect? Like say you don't put Daredevil as the leader, now you're not getting that 10% speed boost, but if you're not putting, you know, say you put Luke Cage in, you know, now you're getting a defense boost to your team, but then, you know, you're sort of sacrificing something, and the defenders team as a whole would get worse because you couldn't pick all their passives, because their passives would have to get split up into leaderships and passives, and it'd become a mess. So I don't really expect them to get leaderships in this game with the new Masteries. Really, all I'm expecting from Masteries is for them to get more of a stat boost. I would enjoy, you know, maybe a second passive or something like that, but that's okay, you don't have to do that. But they're probably just going to get stat boosts from Masteries. But let's talk a little bit about this whole orbs to get red stars. Not a fan of this. This is a dumb idea to only have red stars available on orbs, and especially if there's a difference between elite red stars and normal red stars. Like, what does that even, what's the difference between that? Who's an elite character? That's just a mess right there. I really hope that's something from early in the game that they sort of tried, didn't work at all, and they went to only having one red star orb. But I guess presumably from this, you just get stars out of the chest or the orb, and then you could just put those stars onto the characters. Like, you'd open up an orb and get 4 red stars, and then you could give, you know, 4 red stars to whatever way you want. You can give 1, 1, 1, 1, or you can give 4 to one character. Yeah, I don't really understand how this works. Like, it's sort of like a sticker, and you get 4 red star stickers to put over your yellow stars. Like, I don't really, or maybe you're getting a 1-star, like 1 red star rank up, and then you have to then get a 2 red star rank up in order to turn a 1 red stars into 2 red stars. It's just, this is a mess of a system. Like, that's, I think it's dumb to have it come out of an orb. Don't do that. If it becomes similar to like mega orbs where we just never get those, you know, if they are gonna do this, we better have like a brand new mode where you consistently can farm out red stars, because you need to have all your characters at mastery. In Future Fight, that's a basic thing. You should just have characters at max mastery. That's just how it works. That shouldn't be a hard thing to obtain. This is just supposed to be really benefiting us because we get more stats. This isn't supposed to be like something super hard to get. So I don't know, I'm not liking the look of red star orbs. What I prefer is if they did something similar to Future Fight, where they have each of the different types of stones that then you can use to red star up characters. So hopefully they'd either divide characters up by their type, like bio, mystic, skill, or tech, or they could divide them by Asgard, city, cosmic, or global, because like, when it kind of makes sense if like you're mastering a character, they'd get better at working in the environment they're good at, you know. So say if you're a city character, if you're mastering a city character, he's getting better at fighting in the city, so it makes sense to rank up with city materials, like to have a city folk divide characters by their origin. But more than likely, they're just going to divide characters by type if they were to do something like that, because that's how they're sort of divided in the Alliance credit section. So I assume they just continue that right here with bio, mystic, skill, tech, and mutant. And then what would be nice is if by running the campaigns, every single campaign node, you know, there'd be now there'd be 5 types of sort of Norn stones in this game. You'd have a bio, a mystic, a skill, a tech, and a mutant. And then every single campaign node would have one of those stones in it. And then you just farm up these stones naturally as you're running campaign missions. And then you spend a little bit of gold to then rank up your characters in terms of their red star rank. So overall, I think red stars could be a good change. It'll give our characters higher stats, allow them to clear more content. It's just, depending on how they implement it, it could either be very nice and it'd be very beneficial to us, or they're just going to add another thing we need to spend gold on, another thing we need to farm every day that just nobody wants to do. So with that being said, I'll see you guys later. Sign off, guys.